Just one last thing before we go. We've got about a minute left. Today's Australia Day. And we understand there's a bit of a rumour that Zara and Mike Tindall may be considering a move to Oz. Is there anything in this, Russell?
Something is happening inside the British monarchy that no one expected. Something unprecedented, delicate, and dangerous. It started as a quiet family conversation, whispered behind the heavy doors of Balmoral and Buckingham Palace. But now, those whispers have grown into something louder, something that royal insiders say could reshape the very future of the monarchy. Because, for the first time in decades, a royal couple with no titles, no official duties, and no obligation to stay is openly considering walking away, permanently. And the king, King Charles III himself, is reportedly taking drastic steps to stop them from leaving. The couple at the center of this storm is Zara Tindall and her husband Mike Tindall, two of the most beloved, relatable, and admired figures around the royal orbit. They've always been free, untitled, unburdened, and unrestricted, but now their freedom has become a threat to the stability of the monarchy, a threat to the king's plans, a threat to the future image of the royal family. Because Zara and Mike aren't just thinking about moving. According to insiders, they were seriously considering relocating halfway across the world to Australia. And King Charles, facing a shrinking family and a damaged public image, is terrified at the idea of losing them. Before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. The truth is, Zara and Mike have never followed the same path as their royal cousins. Princess Anne, Zara's mother, made the groundbreaking decision decades ago not to give her children titles. She wanted them to grow up with independence, careers, and personal freedom. And for years, that decision paid off beautifully. Zara became an Olympic equestrian with a global reputation. Mike carved out a successful life in rugby, media, and business. Together, they raised their three children, Mia, Lena, and Lucas, without the pressures that defined the childhoods of William, Harry, or Beatrice and Eugenie. But something shifted in recent years, something that no one predicted. The monarchy began shrinking. Prince Harry left for California with Meghan. Prince Andrew fell into scandal and withdrew from public life. Other senior royals aged, retired, or stepped back. Suddenly, the once crowded balcony at Buckingham Palace began to look emptier, the responsibilities heavier, the expectations sharper. And Charles, who had always supported a slimmed-down monarchy, found himself struggling to keep the institution running with a team that was now too small for a modern global monarchy. That's when Zara and Mike's situation became more than a personal choice. It became a royal crisis. According to insiders, Charles learned last year that the couple was seriously contemplating a permanent move to Australia. Not just extended holidays, not just seasonal visits, a true relocation, a new life, a step outside the United Kingdom's orbit at a time when the monarchy was already stretched thin. For Charles, it wasn't just a logistical issue, it was emotional. Zara is not just a niece to him. She represents stability. She represents continuity. She represents a link to Princess Anne, and through her, a connection to Queen Elizabeth II's legacy. Losing her would feel like losing a part of that legacy. Insiders describe the moment Charles confronted the possibility of Zara's departure as emotional, tense, and deeply personal. While none of these private details are officially confirmed, multiple royal commentators have hinted that discussions inside the family were serious, sensitive, and even tearful. These claims are unverified, but they paint a picture of a king struggling to keep his family united while also preserving the strength of the institution he leads. Charles, according to those sources, made one thing clear. He did not want to lose Zara and Mike, not geographically, not symbolically, and certainly not permanently. That's when a dramatic idea emerged, a solution that would have been unthinkable a decade ago. A solution that would reverse Princess Anne's decision and reshape the Tindalls' lives forever. The king was reportedly considering offering Zara and Mike royal titles. Think about that. A man who fought for a slimmed-down monarchy now contemplating expanding it again, not for political reasons, not for tradition, but for family survival. Titles come with privileges, but also responsibilities. With status, but also obligation. With prestige, but also limitations. For Zara and Mike, accepting such titles could mean stepping into the limelight, giving up business ventures, reducing independence, and becoming public figures with constant scrutiny. Would they even want that life? At the center of this dilemma is the couple's deep connection to Australia. And this part is undeniable, verified, documented, and supported by years of interviews and public appearances. Australia is more than just a vacation spot for them. It is where their love story began. It is where they return year after year. It is where Zara competes, where Mike is adored, where their children feel free, where the culture resonates with them. Zara once said she could definitely imagine living there once her equestrian career slowed. Mike has repeatedly praised the Australian lifestyle and energy. These comments are on record. They weren't whispered, they weren't hinted at, they were openly said. And that's exactly why Charles grew so concerned. Sources claim, again unverified, that during a private family gathering, when the topic of moving resurfaced, the room reportedly fell silent, blank faces, emotional reactions, even tears. According to those same insiders, Charles spoke from the heart, emphasizing how important the couple was to him, and how losing them would deepen the cracks already forming within the royal structure. The king does not want another royal exodus. Harry and Meghan's departure hit the monarchy hard. The loss of working royals, the public divide, the global scrutiny. These events shook the institution in ways still being felt today. Charles is determined to prevent history from repeating itself, especially with two royals who bring nothing but stability, warmth, and positivity to the public image of the monarchy. Zara and Mike are incredibly popular. Mike is grounded, funny, relatable. His podcast and public appearances make him one of the most down-to-earth figures connected to the monarchy. Zara is respected, elegant, athletic, successful. Together, they represent the modern face of a royal family often criticized for being outdated. To lose them, to Australia no less, would be both a symbolic and practical loss. And Charles knows that.
So the question becomes, what is he willing to offer, and what are they willing to sacrifice? Titles might keep them rooted in the UK, but titles also bring rules. The couple would face tighter limitations on work, endorsements, business partnerships, media appearances, and even what they say in public. They would be expected to attend more events, represent the monarchy, and live a life much closer to the institution they've avoided being entangled in for decades. Would Zara want to give up her independence? Would Mike want to sacrifice his career? Would their children thrive or suffer under royal titles? These are questions only they can answer. Meanwhile, Australia continues to pull them in. The sunshine, the lifestyle, the sports culture, the open space, the anonymity, the freedom. For a couple that has enjoyed their independence, the Australian dream is more than fantasy. It's a genuine possibility. In January, they spend time at Magic Millions, a major equestrian and racing event. In July, they were spotted cheering the British and Irish Lions at Melbourne Cricket Ground. They explored the Great Barrier Reef. They shared photos from Hamilton Island. Every visit looks like a preview of a life they could easily choose. And in a past interview that now feels prophetic, Zara revealed that Australia just feels like home. King Charles is right to be worried. But here's where the story takes its most dramatic turn. Sources claim, though unverified, that Charles is preparing to keep the title offer on the table. Not now, not loudly, not publicly, but quietly, privately, strategically. He may present it if the couple shows signs of drifting further away, if their visits become longer, if discussions of relocation grow more serious, if the monarchy's numbers continue shrinking. It is, in essence, a royal safety net. But is it enough? For now, the Tindalls have appeared to settled on a compromise, splitting time between the UK and Australia, extended holidays, longer stays, a life balanced between two continents. A solution that keeps them free, keeps the king calm, and keeps the monarchy intact. For now. But the future remains fragile. If Zara and Mike leave permanently, Charles loses more than family. He loses part of the monarchy's heart. He loses two of the last remaining public-friendly royals who can appeal to younger generations. He loses stability. He loses connection. He loses momentum. That's why insiders believe this story isn't over. The offer of titles could resurface. The debate over relocation could reignite. The monarchy's future could hinge on the decisions of two people who were never supposed to carry that weight. And that is what makes this moment so pivotal. Zara and Mike stand at a crossroads between duty and independence, between tradition and freedom, between two countries and two futures. The king waits anxiously. The public watches. The monarchy adjusts, reforms, and recalculates around them. Their decision may be months or years away, but when it comes, it will echo across the entire institution. So what do you think? Should Zara and Mike accept royal titles if King Charles offers them? Or should they follow their hearts and choose a new life in Australia? Should they stay for the sake of family unity, or seize the opportunity for freedom and happiness? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of every twist in this unfolding royal story, make sure you subscribe to Crownverse and turn on notifications, because this is only the beginning.